All right, Coral Academy is one of the few schools across the valley offering in-person learning, and with 6 campuses, they have enrollment openings.
Fox 5's Dylan Kendrick took a trip this morning to their Nellis Air Force Base location to see how it's going. We just saw those cute kids line up and go into the classroom. What's going on now, Dylan?
Yeah, and I want to point out, if y'all are wondering what's going on over here at Coral Academy, well, it's Crazy Hair Day, it's Spirit Day. I just want to put that on the record. I know there's probably going to be some questions out there this morning. So we've got Ansley. Ansley, thank you so much for waking up with us today, and you're back in school. So I asked you to think of maybe a few things that you love about your class. Do you want to share it?
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell me.
One of my favorite things about in the classroom is math.
You love math?
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's your second favorite thing about being back in the class?
My second favorite thing is that we have more stuff to do in the classroom.
How was it learning at home? What was that like?
That was like, I couldn't really do much because I couldn't like eat or anything on the screen. So it was hard.
Did you miss your friends?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Is that the best part about being back? Yeah? All right. Thank you so much, Ansley. I want to get on over to Miss Holmes here. Let me go ahead and just adjust the mics. It's very rare that we have a short interview like Ansley on with us this morning. So go ahead and tell everyone, just from a teacher perspective, how that transition has been.
It's been a learning curve. I mean, we're so used to being primary grade, of getting down on the floor, gathering close together, and now just having to keep that distance, stay in our bubbles, and a lot of reminding stay in your bubbles because they want to be together. They haven't seen each other in months.
And I think seeing this is like the other side of what Clark County School District is going through right now. And I think parents are wondering, is there going to be a catch-up game? Are you kind of experiencing that already right now?
I feel like, I mean, there's always a catching up game when you come back to school, but now they've been out for so long that it's an even bigger catch-up. I mean, you have those kids that are on top of it, but there's a lot of catching up.
All right, and just some of the changes. I know this is a STEM curriculum here at Coral Academy. How do you take those hands-on projects and make them not hands-on?
That's been the challenge. So we still do science and social studies, but most of that's on the hybrid part, more the online. So we try to take that part so that they can do at home. And then it's still a learning curve of how to do it in class.
Now, first graders, are they wondering what the heck is going on? Do they have a good sense of what's happening in the world where you're not having to explain it every day to them?
They do, because I think it's become their norm now. So it hasn't been like it was in the springtime of what is going on. Now they kind of get the gist of what's going on. Just like I said, a lot of reminding of we got to stay in our spaces.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mrs. Holm. Ansley, thank you. You want to say bye to everyone who's watching today? Thank you. You did an amazing job. She's so adorable, and especially with the Crazy Hair Day going on. But really, guys, I said it last hour, it seems foreign, and I wish it didn't. But I know that we've got lots of health concerns out there, so it's interesting to see how some schools are rolling with the punches to make sure that their kids are staying safe. Jason, Melissa?
Ansley was so cute, Dylan. And we need more Ansley this morning.
And crazy hair.
Ansley. Check out her mask, too, if you missed it.
I know,
Unicorns.
I saw.
Gotta love it.
Show it off, girl.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Thanks,
Show it
Dylan.
off. Well, Coral Academy is one of the few schools across the valley offering in-person learning to some of its students.
Fox 5's Dylan Kendrick took a trip to the school this morning, their Nellis Air Force Base location, to see how it's going. Dylan.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. And don't let this empty class fool you, because Coral Academy is one of the few classes, or schools, I should say, that are offering in-person learning to at least a portion of their students. So I just arrived here this morning. I've been talking with the principal, who's told me that the kids are so excited to be back. They've been back for about 3 to 4 weeks now. And so I was asking them, what have you had to do to maintain safety here? Because that's really the priority, and that's what's really holding up a lot of folks, a lot of administrators administrators with the Clark County School District, for example, in bringing back students. Obviously, coronavirus impacting us more than ever right now with this latest wave. And, you know, he told me that they've gone ahead and spaced things out. You can see we're in a kindergarten classroom right now. Typically, kindergartners sit around a table. They've gone ahead and gotten rid of that to space kids out. They put the typical desks to ensure that kids can have the proper distancing. They're also doing everything they can as far as when they arrive, temperature checks, and just making sure that everyone is social distancing. Now, we're going to hear from the principal here in just a little bit here, and he's going to break down some more about just the child safety here. They've got kindergartners, they've got first graders, and they're also offering in-person classes for special needs students. And I know that's another huge concern for parents at home who need that extra attention for their children. Coral Academy starting to offer that up again. I'm going to check back in here with you guys in about half an hour. See you then.
This learning model until the new year at least, but a handful of charter schools do have kids in classrooms for weeks, and there are enrollment openings.
Yeah, Fox 5's Dylan Kendrick took a trip this morning out to Coral Academy at Nellis Air Force Base. He's with the principal. And Dylan, as a parent, one of the things I'm concerned about is the kids aren't learning the way they would in the classroom. So I'm curious if the principal there has noticed an improvement in the short time in the academics of his students that are back in classrooms now.
Yeah, and that's a very good point, Dave. And I know many parents out there share that same question that you have. And there's just been a lot of uncertainty with the models that exist now for students to learn out there. Now, right now at Coral Academy, we're just about 1 hour from students lining up to be dropped off by parents to go through those check-in procedures. So I want to get on over to the principal here to kind of go over not only how are you keeping kids safe, but adjusting them back into this in-class learning.
Well, it's a great question, and that's always been at the highest level of priority for us. We do constant temperature checks right in the car and also as they enter the gate. We try to maintain as much distancing as possible with our desks and with students. Students do a zombie walk when they move from place to place if they need to transition anywhere. And really, we refer to some strict policies with hand washing and sanitizing to ensure that safety of all the students.
Now, my colleague Dave, he's in the studio right now. He's a parent. He's going through this along with all the rest of the parents here in the Valley. He said, you know, the standard of learning just isn't the same when you're at home full time. Are you seeing students pick back up and an increased level of learning back in the classroom?
I have to agree with that, and that's kind of true at all levels, but especially at that primary level with kindergarten and first grade. Those foundational skills are really tough to teach from a distance. As much as you can get into a routine, really being on site has that interaction with the teachers.
All right, and they have just about over 200 students back on campus, is what
Yeah, just a little over 200 students.
All right, so they're continuing to adjust out here, and we're going to continue to talk to not only administration, but we're going to talk to teachers here coming up in the next half hour, and hopefully even get one of the students to talk to us. They're young out here at kindergarten, first grade, but I'm sure they could offer up some interesting perspective on how that transition has been. I'll be out here all morning long. We'll check back in here in just a little bit.
Well, Coral Academy is one of the few schools across the Valley offering in-person learning. And with 6 campuses, they have enrollment openings.
Fox 5's Dylan Kendrick took a trip this morning to their Nellis Air Force Base location to see how it's going. Good morning, Dylan.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. And really, this is for you parents out there. So much uncertainty revolving around getting your kids back into the classroom. Coral Academy has already done so. So it's time to check in with 2 teachers. We've got Crystal. She teaches kindergarten. We've got Lauren. She teaches first grade. Now, we want to hear, you know, this is the other side of the big topic right now, getting kids back in. They're here. How's that transition been? I'll start with you, Crystal.
It's been pretty good. It's been a little bit of an adjustment, obviously, because with kindergarten normally we're in groups and stuff like that, and now we're at desks, but they're adjusting really well. A little bit more movement breaks needed throughout the day because we are sitting at our desks, but they're adjusting well, and it's almost business as usual.
Now, Lauren, talk about that transition from last year to this year, because kids last year, they were interrupted. They had to go through this distance learning process. Did they come back? You know, did you have to catch them up a bit?
Yeah, and we're still playing a little bit of catch up with some of the students, which is kind of expected. But as Crystal was saying in the classroom, it's a little different this year because we're noticing the kids are a little bit quieter than they have been in the past, too. So, and they're staying in their areas. They keep their masks on.
Now, from what I understand, there's a heavy STEM curriculum here at Coral Academy. How do you take some of what you used to do, those hands-on learning experiences, and bring them into this world that we're living into now?
Well, like for me, like we still, like our sight words and stuff, we've always used kinesthetic stuff of movements and stuff. So we still do that, but now instead of being on a rug together, we're standing at the sides of our desks still doing it and stuff. So we're still trying to get that hands-on. It's just from the teacher standpoint, like we have more supplies this now so that the kids have their own stuff versus doing group stuff. It's more now individual stuff. So we're still trying to be very hands-on.
All right, and I know a lot of parents, again, you're wondering, how can I get my kids back into a classroom at this point? Go ahead and check your screen. Coral Academy has 6 locations across the valley, so you can see all of them right there. Enrollment available at several locations. Here on base, they really prioritize those military families. As you can only imagine, this is really convenient for those families. Now, one more thing I noticed coming in here, not only the spaced out desks, but no more backpacks. And we're going to learn that here in the next 30, 45 minutes when kids start to arrive here for drop-off. What's the process with that?
So we have Ziploc baggies that we keep. I know kindergarten does it a little bit different, but we have our desk backwards like this, and one side has the morning group, the other side is the afternoon group. We take them out at the end of the day. When they leave, we sanitize it, put it back, take the next one out.
All right.
I personally have drawers because Ziplocs don't work very well with kindergartners, so we have drawers, and they go and they're labeled with their names. They get their drawer, and then they put it back, and I sanitize the outside of it every single day for them, and I have my AM group and my PM group in drawers.
All right, and last thing for you, just a quick message of inspiration for these kids who are still trying to get back into the routine.
Just keep going. Just keep trying. Don't give up. I know it's hard right now, but just keep at it. You guys are doing awesome also.
All right, beautiful words, and thank you to you two. You showed up early before your classes get here to talk to us. So parents, I know it's stressful. I know you're teaching at home, and man, I can only imagine. So definitely take a look at some of the other options that are available to you out there, and know that you are not alone. There's many resources to help you out trying to figure out if you're going to continue to wait or if there are other options to get your kids back in the classroom. For now, I'll send it back to you.
Right. Dylan, thank you. Entertainment taking...
Fox 5's Dylan Kendrick joins us live from Coral Academy. Dylan, what's going on?
I'm talking to the principal out here in the parking lot of Coral Academy. They're just now dropping off all the students. So we're seeing the caravan of cars. We're seeing the students walking up. And I told them, wow, this feels foreign. And it makes me sad because this is something that it should just be so normal in this world. However, we are dealing with a pandemic. Go ahead and tell everyone at home what they're watching right now on their screen.
Absolutely. Yes, it does feel a little bit foreign, but we're getting into the swing of things. We see the students who get their temps checked here at the gate. And they're walking in with their masks there. And then with our car line, they do the temp checks as well, right in the car, just to make sure that we're practicing that safety and make sure everyone's nice and healthy.
All right, so how's that transition been? I know it's a rough one. Many students have been in distance learning for so long. We've talked to a couple of your teachers who said it's an adjustment.
Well, the transition has been a little bit tough and a lot of course corrections, but we've gotten into the routine. There was a lot of legwork put in the beginning to practice that safety and health guidelines. So we have a lot of students that are really adhering to that mask wearing and trying their best to distance as much as possible.
All right, so go ahead and check your screen, folks, because there's 6 of these schools across the valley. And right here at Nellis Air Force Base, they really prioritize those military families to make sure that their kids can stay close to home. But there's other options. If you want to look into enrollment, we have that information on our screen, on our website at fox5vegas.com. Now, as they head inside and they sit down in their classrooms, what are some of the few things that they're going to notice that are a little different than what they may have had last year?
Well, the typical things that are a little different are the mask wearing and the distancing of the desks, but also the communal supplies we've gotten rid of that in backpacks as well. So they use a combination of Ziploc baggies and individual supplies that are sanitized and kept at school every day.
And total number of kids in school right now?
We have a total number of around 220 students.
All right, that was 220 students. They're starting to still trickle in now, but again, that was the process to get these kids in here at Coral Academy. Parents, if you're still trying to figure out your option that you have out there, head to our website, again, at fox5vegas.com. I'll check back in with you. I'll move back inside for our next segment. See you then.
Coral Academy is one of few schools across the valley offering in-classroom learning to some of its students.
Fox 5's Dylan Kendrick took a trip this morning to their Nellis Air Force Base location to get an update on how students are adapting. Hey, Dylan.
Hey, we've learned so much about just the other side of this. With the news of Clark County School District putting a hold on any further movement of talking hybrid classes, you guys here at Coral Academy already doing that. So I think a lot of people want to see the other side, the other perspective. How's it going? And let them know what that transition's been like.
Well, you know, we're really trying to make sure that we balance the two with the social and emotional well-being and also the physical health and safety of the students. And that's the whole reason of us opening in-person learning for students. And we're, you know, obviously accepting applications right now to accept more students into this in-person learning environment that we're offering. And we are hoping to open those doors to more students, you know, in the coming months, you know, with a few things that are shifting around.
All right, so we got kindergarten and first grade back as of right now, a few special ed classes. Also talk about, you know, the class sizes, because I know that you've limited some of the capacity to make sure that you're in line with the social distancing.
Sure, yeah, so Coral Academy Nellis has actually championed and one of the first schools that really had this early bird and late bird AM/PM cohort approach. And we split our classes in half, and we have half of a 26-person class, 13 in the morning and 13 in the afternoon, for a short amount of time to have that in-person learning and socialization taking place.
All right, and for a moment, check your screen, everyone, because there's a map of all the Coral Academy locations scattered around town. Now, if you want to come out to the Nellis Air Force Base, they really do prioritize those military families due to the proximity of living next to so many of them. But other options for families out there who are just tired of waiting, they need their kids in a classroom, what are their options?
Absolutely, yeah. So with Coral Academy and Nellis Air Force Base, we give priority to our military members, and we pride ourselves in serving that military community, to those who are serving our country. We also have 6 campuses across the valley, 5 other ones there, and a few of them are actually doing some in-person learning classes. Our Centennial Hills campus, Tamara's campus, and Eastgate campuses are doing in-person learning classes as well.
All right, and this is the newest spot in town. They were telling me that this was supposed to open on March 16th, and we don't have to go back in time to remember what happened back then. So they're still getting out all into the swing of things. It's a brand new campus. It's very beautiful. They're doing their best to keep kids safe out here, as of course they continue to prioritize safety and learning together. I'm going to go ahead and send it back to you.
All right, Dylan, thank you.
Go hit up our Facebook page. Just search for Fox 5 Vegas. While CCSD schools will remain distance learning, some charter schools in the valley do have kids back in the classroom, and we wanted to see how it's going. So Fox 5's Dylan Kendrick is live at one of those schools this morning. Dylan.
Yeah, good morning, and we're over here at Coral Academy on Nellis Air Force Base. So I want to get in with the principal here real quick so he can kind of talk us through so much talk right now with Clark County School District, not really able to figure out what they're going to do with things changing. Not the case here. Coral Academy has some of your students back here, kindergarten, first grade. How's that transition been?
Well, that transition's actually been extremely smooth. There was a lot of legwork and a lot of challenges and course correction to take place, but really it was been a smooth transition thanks to my leadership team and all of my teaching staff.
And a big topic is safety. I mean, that's the whole topic here with CCSD not able to get their kids back. How are you keeping your students, your staff, everyone here safe in the building?
Well, we've been able to not sacrifice the level of education and still maintain a high level of safety with temperature checks, with constant distancing. We have a COVID-19 quick reference guide that we refer to all the time, and really everyone on board to support.
All right, and one of those changes they've made out here, we're in a kindergarten class, which will fill up here in just a few short hours once kids start to roll in here. They took the tables out, put the desks back in here to make sure kids are spaced out. That's just one of the things. There's much more to talk about on how Coral Academy and these charter schools are keeping their kids safe as they head back into the classroom. I'll check back in 30 minutes.
Is still over there at Coral Academy, one of the campuses, talking about a school that does have kids that are in class. What's the latest over there, Dylan?
Yeah, no, we've been kind of bouncing all over campus this morning over here at Coral Academy. We just talked to the cutest first grader you're going to find in town, and she told me she was happy to be back. She loves her math. She loves being back with her friends. So that brings me back to our principal, and now I'm going to bring in Kendra. You're the counselor here, because I think one thing that parents want to know, when that time comes that they actually do get to take their kids back to school, that there's somebody to talk to. There's been a lot of mental anguish over this this pandemic, just seeing their parents go through so much. Maybe they're going through things of their own. How have you been able to help?
Well, I come and talk to kids a lot about anxiety. How do we come back? How is it going to look? I can't play with a lot of my friends. It just really depends on how the parents are reacting with the COVID situation. But I always remind the parents that the kids need socialization as well. So I encourage distant play dates if they can play within a 3 feet distant area. That's a good thing to try to get them back into the flow of meeting up with kids and having that social ability to help reduce their anxiety when they get back.
And let's talk teachers too, because you're a resource for them, I'd imagine, as well. They've been through a lot, distance learning versus getting back to work themselves in the classroom. What's that been like on their front?
There's a couple of teachers that are concerned and not sure if they want to come back, but I just let them know, you have someone to come talk to, and we kind of bounce it around. And there's pros and cons to coming back or not coming back, but in the long run, I think coming back would be a good stability for all parents, teachers, and the kids and staff.
All right, let's go ahead and check your screen because we have a map up of all the locations for Coral Academy. There's 6 of them in town. They do prioritize military families here on base, but while you're looking at that, I have the principal here. Just go ahead and tell everyone who is interested in maybe they're done waiting and they want to find another alternative. What resources do you have for them?
Sure. Well, if you're interested in Coral Academy, they could apply online at our website at caslv.org. But there are multiple resources that we have at our disposal, for parents to connect with. The social and emotional well-being with our counseling staff, and also struggling students, they can reach out through office hours with our teachers there.
All right, and about 250 students have now returned back to this campus.
We have a little bit over 200 students that have returned to our campus here for in-person learning.
All right, and I'm learning right along here with them that process, it's not necessarily the easiest process, but it's one that they've taken a priority in making sure that the kids out here are safe. I've seen so much in the works of just making sure the kids are distanced, the temperatures are being checked, sanitizer about every inch of this place. So really cool to see, kids getting back into the classroom. It's an argument either side that you're on. There's one thing we all can agree on, and that's definitely our kids' educations. I'll send it back to you.